This lesson covers how to create and approve a request in Bravo Program Manager. When you have made all of your entries in the conclusion document, the next step is to request an approval. Not all tasks in a project require approval. The presence of a checkbox in the chevron from the process window denotes that a task requires approval. Also, upon opening a task with an approval, you will see an approval milestone summary that lists approval status, approval type, and multi-approval rule. The three types of approvals are review. Approvals are allowed but not required to proceed to the next task. This type of approval allows for tasks to be worked on simultaneously. Soft. Approval must be sent before the following tasks are accessible. And hard, approvals must be sent and receive approval before the following tasks are accessible. Step 0.1 Trigger Approval is a hard stop for full sourcing, strategic and tactical negotiations, and contract extension project types. You first open up your project file folder. You may do this from your home page under your bookmark, Recently Reviewed Projects, or perform a search by project name on the left side of the screen. Once you have opened up your project file, click on the Process button. A new screen will appear listing the process steps. Click on the task name from the process step that needs approval. For our training purposes, we will click on the Step 0.1 Business Case for Trigger Approval. A new screen will appear. At the bottom left of the screen window, you will see a plus sign in a box with a link entitled Create New. Click on this link. A new screen will appear. You will now fill in the appropriate request parameters. First, enter the request name according to the Bravo document naming convention. For our training purposes, we will enter AR Full Sourcing Appetizers Test March 2013. Next, you will enter the due back date by selecting a date and time. For Step 0.1 approval, you must follow this rule. If an approval request is sent by the end of business Wednesday, the due back date should be Friday by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you submit a request on Thursday or Friday, your due back date will be the following Friday. There is no hard rule for other approvals, but allowing sufficient time is recommended to avoid extensions. For our training purposes, we will select Friday, March 22nd, 2013 at 5 p.m. Next, you will invite the appropriate individuals or user group. Use the SMT user group for Step 0.1 approvals for full sourcing, strategic negotiations, and tactical negotiations project. You complete this step by clicking on the invite link. You can use the search parameters such as last name to locate the individuals or group flag to get a listing of the group names. For our training purposes, under the heading Add a Search Parameter, we will click on the parameter entitled Last Name. An empty text box will appear. Type in the last name of the person you are sending the request to. You can invite multiple individuals. We will enter Wheeler, then click on Save Select Values. Next, click on the Search button at the bottom of the window. A new screen will appear with the last name that you searched. Check the box of the chosen individual and then click on the Add button at the bottom of the screen. The person's name you invited will appear under the due back date calendar in the invited row. Also, if you want to invite a group, click on the user group flag and a window will appear with the different group names. We will select the SMT name and right arrow it over to the open window. Then click on Save Selected Values button. The group name will appear on the invited row under the Due Back calendar. Check the conclusion document or external document requiring approval. For our training purposes, click the box for the Step 0.01 conclusion document. Scroll down to the bottom of the Process Step window screen, and on the left side under Step 6.3, you will have an option to include additional project summary components. It is important that you check this box for all approvals. At the center bottom of the window screen, click on the Post button. A screen should appear indicating that your approval request was sent to the invitees. Under the Step 0.1 Business Case for Trigger Approval, you can view or modify the request. Click on the AR Request file link by name listed under the request header just below the Approval Milestone Summary window box. This is not where the approver reviews or responds to your approval request. That process is performed from the approver's Bravo inbox. Due back dates can be extended prior to their expiration. However, if a due back date has expired, it cannot be changed. That approval request must be archived, and a new approval request must be completed. You need only archive the approval requests that have expired, and when creating the new approval request, invite only the individual or individuals whose original approval requests expired. This concludes the lesson on how to create an approval request in Bravo.